I take the opinion that wearing niqab is mustahab, but I still want to wear it. But my dad forbids me until I am married. Am I allowed to disobey him? And also, we got another question just on what's the most authentic opinion on niqab.
Great. We'll take those two together, inshallah. The first question there being that, well, let's take them in different order because we'll make the question about what is the most authentic opinion on niqab. This is something I've done a lot of research upon for a lot of years. I wrote an article on this way back, maybe the first article that at least that I ever saw online. I had a tripod website with Ibn Farooq.tripod. That's how old it was. And I wrote about the niqab. And I collected evidences for it. I looked at both views. The classic idea that we get fed today is there are two views. One is that it's fard, wajib. One is that it's mustahab. But the reality is, if you look at the older books of fiqh, you see a kind of a different view, which is that no doubt that the majority of the ulama took to it being an obligation, but they put it at certain situations. Meaning, if the woman is older and there is no fear of fitna, then many of the earlier fuqaha, like the Hanafiya and others, they took it back to being mustahab. But if she was younger, or there's a fear of fitna, then they took it to be wajib or fard. So this is a very classic view that we see. Many of the ulama took it to be mutlaqan, to be fard, as Shaykh Ibn Baz, Shaykh Ibn Uthman, Shaykh Salih al-Fawzan, Shaykh Ibn Jibreen, many of the great contemporary scholars, and many earlier, even many aqwal from Imam Ahmad and Imam Malik, where they said even the nail of the woman should be covered and so on. These were the early classic scholars that took this view. Many other ulama, they took it to be mustahab, and from the contemporary ulama, Shaykh Albani being a well-known example. Personally, the evidences to show its obligation to me are the strongest. Those like the hadith of Asma radiallahu anha, where Rasulullah talked about the face and hands. We know Khalid ibn Dariq never met Aisha radiallahu anha, so that hadith is weak. And so on. And the other hadith, when you look at the hadith from Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma in the tafsir of Surah Al-Ahzab, where he talks about the niqab and he demonstrates it and everything, well, they're very clear and strong. So, to me, those evidences are stronger. Many ulama, like Shaykh Ibn Uthaymin has written a risala on this, and Shaykh Ibn Baz, they're very clear with the evidences. But let's take it, even if somebody takes it to be mustahab, it's still good. Mustahab doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, right? So, that's something you have to keep in mind. Now to take it to the, so just to answer, to me the stronger opinion that it's wajib, especially when there are places of fitna. Like when you go to the haram nowadays, people say, oh, in the haram you don't wear niqab. No. Niqab, a piece of cloth, is a different issue. Covering your face is a different issue. Aisha radiallahu anha, she said we took the khimar and covered our face anytime non-mahram came close to us. In the haram right now, non-mahram always close to you. So to cover your face, even if you don't do it with a piece of cloth called the niqab, but with your khimar, with your cloth, covering your face, tying it, pinning it, is very important in the haram because the fitna that can happen. If somebody is young, if somebody's, even if you're not necessarily young, but there's a chance of fitna, then no doubt, even those ulama that take it to be mustahab in that situation would consider it wajib. So that is the safest and best opinion, that you wear the niqab as an obligation. If you take the view that it's mustahab, and I have respect for those scholars and people that take that view, you still should do it because it's mustahab. You want to do it. You don't want to make salah and fard and just be like, I'm just going to make the bare minimum. I'm just reading Al-Fatiha, no surah afterward. I'm just doing one Subhan Rabbil Azim, not three. No, you want to make your salah beautiful. You want to do your hijab the best. As men, we don't say, okay, the minimum aura is just from navel to the knee, so I'm going to go to the masjid and some shorts and a t-shirt. No, we wear the best to try to wear the most concealing, the most haya, for men even, we try to wear clothes that have the most dignified manner, right? It's mustahab. So even if you take it to mustahab, you should do it. Okay? Now to the second